We are the anchors of Queer News Tonight, and this evening we discuss the queer headlines. Iraq passes a hateful law banning same-sex relationships and penalizing transgender individuals while defying international criticism.
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis rejects Biden's Title IX changes. Unfortunately, he's not the only one.
A Los Angeles log cabin Republicans meme on Instagram hinted at President Biden's death. Wait, what?
Pridelines hosts the Executive Circle cocktail reception on May 1st at Pridelines Safe Center. Includes tour and details about the upcoming Joyride charity bike event.
Laurence Fox was ordered to pay a total of $220,000 after losing a defamation lawsuit against RuPaul's Drag Race UK star Crystal.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Queer News Tonight. This is the world's first and only LGBTQ+ daily evening television news, broadcasting live and then available on demand. Available on all smart televisions, including Roku, Apple TV, Android TV, Amazon Fire TV, Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. It's time to queer up the news for Monday, April 29th, 2024. We are live and literally out of the closet and into the headlines. So many of your important stories we're going to tell this evening on Queer News Tonight.
This is the world's first live daily LGBTQ evening news show, literally out of the closet and into the headlines on Queer News Tonight.
This is the world's first and only unedited live LGBTQ+ evening news show. Whatever happens unique in the LGBTQ+ news, you will see it and hear it.
Hotspots Magazine, Happening Out Television Network, is a nonprofit 501c3 media company in the same model as PBS and NPR, but designed for the LGBTQ+ community. Our mission is to support the 11 pillars of our LGBTQ+ community. We want to inform and educate the key issues of our queer culture: the Black community, Latino, lesbians and queer women, trans, students and youth, seniors, HIV/AIDS, healthcare, business, social justice, and faith. Help us support our community.
We are part of one of the largest LGBTQ+ nonprofit media companies in America, Hotspots Magazine and Happening Out Television Network.
In 2024, our magazine is celebrating 40 years of the LGBTQ+ experience, and our television news, talk, and entertainment shows support our mission to educate the LGBTQ+ and broader community.
That's right, Sam. And I got to tell you that I'm super excited about tonight's show because I got some incredible boys at this table with me tonight. So let's begin by meeting these incredible anchors of Queer News Tonight. We'll begin with Dr. Edward Summers. He's the ED of Pridelines, Miami's LGBTQ Community Center. He served as a primary therapist and program director at Eye Care Treatment Center in West Palm Beach. He was also the founder and CEO of the New York-based nonprofit, The Thinkubator. Edward, you sexy butt. Pridelines expands their reach into Broward County with a special gathering at Todd's Catering in Oakland Park on May 28th. Tell me what's happening.
Yes, Faye. And I think someone's hosting. Wait a minute. You, FayWhat? So yes, this is a great opportunity for us to educate and inform people in Broward about what we do at Pridelines. While we're a Miami-Dade based organization, we do have reach all throughout Florida, quite frankly. And we just really want to just expand our reach and let folks know what we're up to. There's a lot that's been happening at Pridelines, and we just want to let people know. And we want to cross that barrier, right? That we're bringing our passport to Broward.
Yes!
So it's just a really great opportunity to connect. And, we respect and love all the organizations that are in Broward. We work and partner with them. We refer people to them. But, a lot of people have told us in Broward, like, we want to hear more about you.
Yeah.
And so this has really come from the community asking us to come to them and tell them about what we're doing. So this is what we're doing.
Yes.
And we're excited to do it.
Awesome.
We're excited you're hosting.
Oh my God, I'm beyond excited to be hosting. Are you kidding me? So please get your tickets, pridelines.org. It's going to be a fantastic event, May 28th. Next up, let's welcome Dale Stine, a celebrated photographer in the LGBTQ+ community. He's the director of music ministry at the famous Unity on the Bay and moderator of Miami Gay List, South Florida's largest LGBTQ Facebook group, which can also be found on IG as @QueerListOfficial. So Dale, you photographed drag queen pioneer China Sengmani. A touching celebration of life is going to be at Twist next month, May 22nd. Tell me what's happening.
Well, China was really one of the South Beach legends and icons from the 90s.
For sure.
And in the early 2000s. And then he made a choice to move back to Orlando to be with family. but really just one of the kindest, gentlest, most beautiful people you would ever meet. Everybody loved China. Everybody loved China. And the outpouring of love since his passing at the age of 50 from cancer has been just, the outpouring of love has just been amazing. And so Twist is hosting a celebration on May 22nd, and it's going to be quite beautiful from 9 to 11 p.m.
Oh, and that's, listen, and she inspired everybody. So, I mean, the Kitty Meows, the Teepee Lords, all of those folks were inspired by China back in the 90s. So it's going to be an incredible celebration of life.
It's going to be beautiful.
She's missed.
Yeah, so much.
Next up, let's welcome Nico Cales. He's a passionate learner and leader. He loves connecting with people, exploring new places, and creating meaningful memories. He's making some right now. Nico is currently pursuing an MBA in marketing. Nico, so TEDx Miami, which is TED Talks, is bringing a superstar cast, including LGBTQ plus speakers for a special program called Resilience on May 15th. Tell me what's happening.
Yes, so TEDx Miami, it will occur at the New World Center in Miami Beach on May 15th. Mark your calendars. There's going to be speakers such as Andrew Parker, Danielle Betts, Mike Pell, and Dr. Layla Allen. They'll present stories about humanity overcoming difficulties through innovation, grit, determination. So get your tickets. They start at $95, and you can go find them on Eventbrite.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Nico. Next up, let's welcome Sam Lantz. Sam and his beard are in the house, baby. He's a finalist from Netflix's Squid Game: The Challenge. He's passionate about interior design, fashion, and advocacy for the LGBTQ plus community. He loves to go on adventures with his hubby, Doug. I love Doug. Doug is dope. And 2 adopted dogs, Duke and Moo. Sam, I heard that we have a big election this November, because I didn't know about it, right? Like, I haven't been screaming about it. And the Dolphin Dems, who are just an incredible organization, are holding their 42nd anniversary gala and awards at the Westin on May 18th. Tell me what's happening, Sam.
Well, it's a celebration. We gays love to celebrate, and they're celebrating. They're raising money. There's going to be a cocktail reception at 6 and a dinner at 7. You can buy tickets at dolphindems.com, and we get to go out, celebrate, do the stuff that we love to do.
Love that. We love us a gala. A gala.
We love partying. And of course, this is tonight's lead anchor, FayWhat. She is a legendary event host, television and radio personality, and the host of the FayWhat show on Mondays. Faye, Blink will host an interesting virtual Dye Art Women from Rain to Rainbows art exhibition on May 7th. Tell us, what's happening?
So join Thou Art Woman on Tuesday, May 7th at 7 p.m. for their virtual artist talk moderated by artist Kalua Naima Narudin. Thou Art Woman from Rain to Rainbows. This exhibition opened at the Courtyard by Marriott, Fort Lauderdale, downtown in December, and is going to run all the way till June 6th, okay? So from Rain to Rainbows centers and celebrates the artwork of LGBTQ plus women and our allies in South Florida. The exhibition aims to increase visibility and amplify the voices in our community through art. This exhibition features the work of Sienna Hubner, Elle Humans, Jane Greenberg, Zipporah Mikkel, Kalua Naima Narudin, Daniela Sanchez Vega, Tracy Ann Simmons, Shalisa West, and G. Wright. I love me some G. Wright. It also includes a video installation from the Black Queer Love Project, a collaboration by Royal Brown Photography and Black LGBTQ plus Liberation, Inc. All right? Search Thou Art Woman on Eventbrite for tickets and further information. And I forgot to mention, it's free. Okay? So get your tickets today. We are the reporters for Queer News Tonight, and this evening we begin with the queer headlines. The LGBTQ plus community in South Florida and across America is diverse. Our community across the world is vast. And here are the bullet points of the queer news for today, Monday, April 29th, 2024. First this evening, let's begin by queering up the worldview. Iraq enacts Draconian anti-LGBTQ plus law despite the criticism from U.S. and other countries. Iraq has just passed a sweeping new anti-LGBTQ plus law criminalizing same-sex relationships punishable by up to 15 years in prison. The law also bans existing as a trans person with penalties for changing biological gender or dressing effeminate. The move marks a stark shift for Iraq, which previously did not explicitly criminalize gay sex. The law argues to protect Iraqi society from moral depravity and the calls for homosexuality. It's part of a broader crackdown on the LGBTQ plus community, with previous directives banning the use of terms like homosexual or gender in media and social platforms. The Media and Communications Commission in Iraq directed media and social platforms to avoid using the term homosexuality and instead refer to LGBTQ plus issues as sexual deviancy. Additionally, the law criminalizes LGBTQ plus advocacy, imposing a 7-year prison sentence for anyone promoting homosexuality. Penalties for transgender individuals are comparatively lighter, with sentences ranging from 1 to 3 years for changing their biological gender or expressing themselves in an effeminate manner. While less extreme than earlier versions, the law still faces condemnation, including from the U.S. State Department. The previous version implemented the death penalty if you were LGBTQ+. The statement from the U.S. State Department read, quote, "This amendment threatens those most at risk in Iraqi society. It can be used to hamper free speech and expression and inhibit the operation of NGOs across Iraq," end quote. However, it seems Iraq pays no heed to international criticism when it comes to imposing irrational and criminal laws. Iraq now becomes a world leader in anti-LGBTQ+ Muslim fundamentalism. Wow. Okay. That's a lot to unpack there. I read this and the first thing that comes to mind is that everybody at this table would be in prison if we were in Iraq.
Right.
The reality is that Edward Summers, as the head of an LGBTQ+ organization, would be in prison for just being an advocate 7 years. Okay. Me being if I was Butch, right, I would be thrown in jail. These are worse than Draconian. I mean, there's if you told me that this was going to pass a couple of years ago, I wouldn't believe it. But, since we opened the door to hate with who, it has given other countries, like Italy, like Iraq, just the open door policy to treat our people horrifically, and this is just a horrible example of exactly that.
This is a blatant disregard for human rights and human dignity, human respect. We're going backwards. I've gone backwards in time. And I think, I don't even want to mention the person's name, but he definitely opened the door for international hate.
Yeah.
And for people to be overt about it, right? Like in the past, people were hidden about their hate for other groups. Now they're open about it and they're clear about it. And so it's unfortunate.
And, even we're speaking about Iraq, but it really harkens to what's going on everywhere, as you kind of intimated. I mean, even here, even though we can't be put in prison at the moment,
Right.
I mean, fingers crossed, it's just the vitriol and the hatred that is being so acceptable. And for what? I mean, like there's nobody who's gay in the law in the government in Iraq. Hello, we're everywhere.
Yeah.
So it just baffles the mind, really does.
And it's just like everything. People are afraid of what they don't know of, and right there in it is worded, you can't talk about it, and you can't learn about it, and you can't find anything out about it. There's not going to be any access to the information to find out about it. So people are scared of what they don't know about, and so they feed this planned ignorance to further their own power.
And investigating things don't make you gay. Okay. Okay. If that was the case, I'd be straight. Okay, to be completely honest.
Well, it depends on what you're investigating.
It depends on what you're investigating. I can't imagine being. I always refer to Nico when it comes to young stuff because he's the only young person I know, right? And I can't imagine being young, being an adolescent, all right, or being even younger than that, and not hearing the word homosexual or not hearing the word gender.
Right.
How do you know? It's just I always feel bad for the students here in Florida, right? Because of all the, don't say gay stuff and like that, you're not using their proper pronouns, you're dead naming them, etc. This goes to another level, what do you think, Nico?
Yeah, my question is how is Iraq gonna, present jail beds with the many people that they're going to lock up? I don't think that's going to be.
We're going to have fun in there.
No. We're laughing, but it's like, I think the prison system here is way better than it would be in Iraq, and And I can't even imagine being put in jail or, being a trans person and being a female trans person and being thrown in a men's jail,
horrible.
Under those kind of conditions. I mean, it's beyond horrible.
And look at what we were just talking about, all these galas, all these galas we're having. There's no talk of that. There's just talk of survival and being able to be, period there. It's a whole different thing.
Yeah. We're honestly not that far away from that either.
Well, we're still having galas. I mean,
but it's only a few years. I'm sure they have secret parties and stuff, but we're only a few years away from that too. And it's, we feel so secure in where we are, and it's so easy to backslide back there. And it's just going to be an excuse for violence against our community because they're like, oh, well, see, this is justified because this is illegal, so we can kill you.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah, there are plenty of politicians and people who are right there on the precipice of wanting it to happen.
They start stoning people.
Yeah, you know, but I think the U.S. government needs to go a step further. I hear the statement from the U.S. State Department, but to me, you know, our government needs to take a big stand. And for governments who clearly has hate, clearly enforces policies against communities like our community, the LGBT community, I think our U.S. government needs to like have sanctions against them. We don't need to provide any aid to them. We can't stand for this moral injustice, right? Like we just can't stand for it. Like by us supporting them, by us giving them aid, by us like selling them goods, like we're supporting their regime, and we need to take a stand against it. Yeah. Like we need to demand from our government to do better, right?
Absolutely.
When we see other governments out there instituting policies that blatantly discriminate and violate people's human rights.
Right.
Eleanor Roosevelt is turning in her grave, I'm sure, you know, seeing things like this.
Bless her.
Yeah, good bless her.
Well, next, let's queer up students and youth. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis says no to Joe Biden's new LGBTQ plus Title IX rules.
Florida rejects Joe Biden's attempt to rewrite Title IX. We will not comply, and we will fight back. We are not going to let Joe Biden try to inject men into women's activities. We are not going to let Joe Biden undermine the rights of parents, and we are not going to let Joe Biden abuse his constitutional authority to try to impose these policies on us here in Florida. We stand with opportunities. We are not going to let Biden get away with it. We will not comply.
In a social media video, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis declared non-compliance with new rules aimed at protecting LGBTQ plus students from discrimination. He rejected Joe Biden's bid to alter Title IX, affirming Florida's defiance and determination to resist. The Department of Education released Title IX rules this month, aiming to prevent discrimination and harassment against LGBTQ plus students. These rules are based on the legal premise that anti-LGBTQ plus discrimination is a form of sex-based discrimination. The new federal rules would limit a state's ability to limit health care and other LGBTQ plus issues in schools. DeSantis addressed the issue in his recent video posted on Twitter. He said, quote, "We are not going to let Joe Biden try to inject men into women's activities," end quote. Apart from DeSantis, various state officials have also urged schools to defy federal guidelines on LGBTQ plus issues. Louisiana State's Superintendent of Education, Cade Brumley, has recently advised schools to ignore the rules, citing potential conflicts with existing state bills. Similar sentiments were echoed by officials in South Carolina and Oklahoma, with concerns raised about the impact on women's sports and equality. The Alliance Defending Freedom vowed legal action against the guidelines, arguing they disregard biological reality. DeSantis, known for anti-LGBTQ plus measures, has supported laws restricting LGBTQ plus rights in schools, including bans on discussions and gender-affirming health care. Millions of dollars of federal education funding in Florida could be at stake if the governor makes good on his threat. Well, I don't think anybody at this table is any fan of Ron DeSantis.
No.
And what's interesting, too, of note, is that there was nothing in the bill, nothing in Title IX about any transgender in sports, for example. So that line about injecting men into
women's activities.
It really had nothing, never mind that it's just offensive on all accounts, but it really had nothing to do with it. You just found it as an opportunity to inject that into the conversation when it's not even there.
Yeah. Inject the rhetoric, like they're always trying to do.
It's just bait.
Buzzwords,
it's just bait.
Sprinkle it in there.
It's just bait. And again, what does this tell our LGBTQ plus youth here in Florida? That you don't count? That you're not important enough? That's
absolutely what he's trying to say. They don't count. They don't matter. Period. Yeah. And he doesn't care about losing educational funding because, again, going back to my whole theory of it's planned ignorance. They don't want people to have the education.
They want us to be
back.
Stupid.
They want people to be stupid.
But think about what you just said, and think about this notion that this is not just even about LGBT. The fact that you risk losing funding, federal funding for education, doesn't only impact LGBTQ youth, it impacts all youth, right? And so we're talking about our
His
whole
children,
education
his-
system. Everyone.
everybody.
Right? So like
his children, because he's going to pay no matter what. He has the money to pay for it.
private
That's true.
education,
That's true.
right?
That.
Yeah.
But it's just offensive. It's just insulting. But the scary thing is that some people will accept it, right?
Yeah.
Like, oh, of course. Don't accept the federal government's money because they're trying to like
Because you said
indoctrinate
those
us. Right,
buzzwords.
right, exactly.
Yep.
And we have to remember too, just recently, our good old Governor DeSantis actually is now going to back Trump, right? And so this is another political
course.
move,
Yeah.
of course, on the
And
Republican
I go back to it. Just shocks me because everybody knows LGBTQ plus people. Everybody has them in their family, whether they know it or not. And probably many of them do. And really, how can you not care? It's so callous and cold and heartless.
Yeah.
It just baffles.
And to your point earlier, it just takes away from what the rule, the expanded rule says, right? It's about discrimination. It's about protection.
Right.
It's not about injecting
men's into women's activities or whatever the hell he said.
So it's just an opportunity to distract
and bring it back.
Right. Well, right. That's probably next. That's next, definitely.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Next, let's queer up politics. Log Cabin Republicans meme appears to wish Joe Biden dead. Wait, what? The Los Angeles chapter of Log Cabin Republicans, a gay conservative organization, shared a meme on their Instagram stories, seemingly suggesting the death of President Joe Biden. The meme, using the kombucha girl format, depicted a woman's reaction changing from disgust to interest with the text, quote, Joe Biden, 1942 to 2024, end quote, implying his death this year. The Midas Touch Network captured the meme, but it's no longer accessible as it was shared in an Instagram story. Additionally, many anti-transgender posts are available in the Log Cabin Republicans of Louisiana's feed. Despite Donald Trump's poor LGBTQ record and Joe Biden's positive stance, Log Cabin Republicans have notably backed Trump in this election cycle. At Trump's Mar-a-Lago home, a fundraiser occurred earlier this month with an appearance by Melania Trump. Described by a co-host as, quote, the launch of the single most important and unprecedented gay and lesbian voter outreach initiative, end quote, Trump was hailed as the most LGBT community-friendly president in American history. Last year, Isabel Riley Moody was named an outspoken ambassador for 2023 by the Log Cabin Republicans. She is notorious for homophobic remarks in her support of Uganda's Kill the Gays law. The Log Cabin Republicans later removed her from their website. Queer News Tonight reached out for comment on why the meme was removed. There was no reply as of this broadcast. Listen, anyhow, politics is rough. It's tough, but to wish our president to be dead, I mean, I don't even wish that for Donald Trump, to be frank with you, because I'm not that cruel or that inhumane. I mean, we're talking about somebody's life, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's just disgusting. You know, when we wish them, when we have that much hatred for a person, because we hold another person up as this statuesque Greek goddess, right? That we can really wish somebody was dead.
Yeah.
That's just terrible. That's just horrible. And shame on them. Shame on them for putting this out there. It's ridiculous. It's just disgusting.
It's disgusting. It's disrespectful, right? And where are the freaking lawyers? Where are the people pissed off about this, right? Kathy Griffin got freaking canceled for just having the head of Trump on a picture. She got mother effing canceled, okay? I would love to know where the law is on this, you know? Right here at this table, we used to have this show called It's Happening Out, right? And there was this game called Shag, Marry. It used to be called Shag, Marry, Kill. Right? And one of the shows, I was not on it, by the way, right? Trump was one of the options for Shag, Marry, Kill. So when they started playing the game, they cut the whole shit off, okay? Facebook closed down. They flagged it. They stopped it. YouTube stopped playing it. They canceled all of their social media accounts. Everybody on the crew lost their social media accounts, all right? Because you don't say things about the president in that kind of way, right? And again, it was a mistake. It wasn't meant like, hey, let's kill this man, right? They just did that to Biden. They just put that on our president, our sitting president, okay? Yeah, you basically put a death sign on him, right? And that's okay.
Even if you post on a comment on social media something that even remotely refers to killing someone, the comment gets removed right away. So like, how is
you can't
this
even post it? Yeah.
Right.
No,
It gets so it's gone. So how are they getting away with this without some repercussions?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, the sickening part of this too is that, those who support the conservative movement tend to be religious affiliated and conservative.
Ish.
Where are your conservative principles here? That we wish somebody to be dead.
There's such a huge disconnect between everything. Like their entire brain. It just seems like
It just doesn't make sense.
Where's the critical thinking?
Doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah. So do you think that the White House should be madder? Like me and my wife are constantly fighting about this, right? Like where she's like, listen, Biden should be screaming and yelling, okay? Like we need somebody to be more forceful, right? He's who we have and he needs to speak up more.
Yeah.
I agree with that, but I also agree with the freedoms that we get to say certain things. Social media, as someone that is a social media person, I think social media was a huge mistake a lot of times. And just the ability to say things that has no repercussions on you has taken too much freedom. Gives
Well,
people
especially
I want to say
since the
freedom,
orange,
but
especially since the orange one.
just too much
Liberty
slack.
to say whatever they want to say
slack.
without
Too much
any
slack to
repercussions.
say whatever they
Yeah,
want. without
liberty,
no repercussions.
liberty to be a pathetic, disgusting person.
Right.
Yeah,
Like
and-
I used to be afraid to say stuff because I'd get popped in the face.
Right.
Like my sister would pop me in the face. Now people just don't get popped in the face. They just get a dislike and they don't care
And they don't
because it's more, attention on social media.
Nico,
People
what do
will
you
just-
think?
And
Ben?
what also kills me is like how social media is definitely like putting out rhetoric to just many communities out there in the digital world, which also is like kills me because it's like anyone could stand behind whatever someone has to say with the click of a
Yeah, you're hiding
button.
behind that keyboard.
Yeah.
100%. But also social media, I think what you're trying to say will target that to people and people think, oh, that means everybody's
Yeah.
thinking this way.
Yeah.
And that disconnect of critical thinking again of not everybody's thinking that way. It's just that's fed to you because that's what you're scrolling through.
When you're in your algorithm.
That's what you stopped on. That's what you hearted. Yes, exactly. What's in your algorithm.
Yeah, but
we're the laughing stock of the world, to be honest with you. I hate to say it, like our politics, just the way we engage with each other, the way we interact with each other. I was speaking with a friend who is born in Israel, spent time in the UK, lives in Portugal, and we are literally the laughing stock of the world.
oh my God, you know what? When I
It's
travel,
just-
I tell people I'm Colombian.
Right. Hello.
Okay, which I am, but my point is that like you should, whenever you travel, folks, right, outside of the U.S., tell people you're from somewhere else, and then refer to Americans, right, and see what they say.
Yeah.
You would be so surprised because I was expecting like, oh, I love Big Macs, and yeah, ha ha, like whatever, and it's not. They really, really laugh
It's
at
been
us.
this way for decades. But now it is a whole new level.
It's even worse now, and I
Yeah,
just feel like
exactly.
anyhow. I could go on and on about this.
Yeah. Rough.
Rough. All right, Nico, what's next, Papa?
Next, let's queer up South Florida and Florida. Pridelines launches the Joy Ride Executive Circle cocktail reception on May 1st. Mark your calendar for Wednesday, May 1st, as Pridelines is all set to welcome guests to an Executive Circle cocktail reception at the Safe Center. The event promises cocktails, hors d'oeuvres, and a guided tour. Details about the upcoming Joyride, a 165-mile charity bike ride from Miami to Key West, will also be shared at the reception. The Joyride will be benefiting HIV service organizations, including Pridelines. The one-of-its-kind 165-mile Smart Ride had its final ride last year. It raised a total of $16.4 million over the period of 20 years. The upcoming Joy is hence an important event of the year, as the nostalgic riders of Miami will get an opportunity to ride on the beautiful 165-mile route while benefiting the community. Further information is available on pridelines.org. You know, what I'm excited about is Pridelines knows how to bring the community together in support of a meaningful cause. So I'm
And
very
he's not only
excited.
saying that because you're here, Edward, I promise. He said that before you got here.
I love it.
And the event isn't about raising funds, but it's about raising awareness to the LGBTQ community. So I'm excited for the event.
I'm excited for the Joyride.
Thank you.
Very
Yeah.
exciting. What's exciting is that it's standing on the shoulders of what Glenn and all his people created with the Smart Ride, which is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, and I remember when that last ride happened, when you rode in the car. No, but
I was
remember,
there for the 165 miles, and I was the cheerleader, and I told boys that their butts look great in the bikes.
But
They loved
Okay,
it.
and they loved that.
They loved it.
They all love it.
I remember sitting at this table, and actually with you, and we were talking when it was the Smart Ride was ending, and there was a lot of sadness around it.
Yes.
But you were saying we're planning something that's going to happen, and it really was not long. It's like it's just a few months, and it has really here it is. It's you really just like made it happen.
Yeah, credit to Glenn, amazing human being who started something that really built a community. And
He had 6 months to live. They gave him 6 months to live with HIV. Okay, here we are all these years later, 21 years later, and he's still with us.
Bitch still going.
Ornery as ever.
Bitch still going.
Ornery as ever. Mean as
Bitch is
ever.
going to live longer than all of us.
All of us.
Exactly.
I love that man.
Exactly.
I love that man. And then he worked with these organizations. It wasn't just Glenn. It was him and these incredible organizations
team
that
of
put
incredible
this
people.
together.
Right.
And once, Glenn was like, okay, it's time for me to step back. Let's see what happens now. All those organizations were like, we love you, Glenn. We're going to keep this going. We're going to
And
figure out how.
Are you going to have the same model, basically? I mean, every dollar goes toward the organization.
Every dollar will go towards
Every single dollar,
the
yeah.
organization.
It's astounding.
Every dollar raised will go
Nobody
towards,
else does that.
absolutely. We're committed 100% give back. And we are busy fundraising. We're busy out there getting sponsors. The beauty of this is that Glenn had a strong infrastructure and everyone is back on board supporting the Joyride. They're excited to see this continue. We just opened up registration like a week ago and we're already like halfway to our goal.
Wow.
What is the goal?
So our goal is about 200 riders this first year, only because a lot of the riders want to celebrate with Glenn. The week before the ride, Glenn and a bunch of us, we're all going to have a cruise.
Yeah.
And we're all going to go out on a cruise and celebrate the end of the Smart Ride. And so it's a lot for some people,
Back
right?
to back.
Back to back. A cruise and then the the Joyride now. So our goal is about 200 riders. And so we're almost there already. We're halfway there. We just opened it up. It's exciting because the organization and the leaders of the organizations that are part of this are amazing people. We have Broward House here in Broward County. We have Miracle of Love up in Orlando. We have Epic down in the Tampa area. And then we have Compass.
Right? Compass as well.
Julie, I love her.
I
She's
love
amazing.
Julie Michael, we love you.
We love it. Happy birthday, Julie, too. It's her birthday today.
Yeah, she looks young too.
Oh,
I
it's
know
her
how old
birthday.
she is. I'm not going to blow up her spot, but
Yeah.
Jules, hello.
And then Pridelines, but we're all very, very committed to working together. And as you said, Dale, like right after this was announced, we all got together and said we have to continue this legacy, and we have to expand it, right? So not only are we focused on HIV/AIDS organizations, but because of our community is so diverse and there's so many more issues that are concerning of our community, we're focused on mental health and suicide. We're focused on young people. We're focused on housing and trans issues. We're expanding the circle. This first year, our 5 organizations decided that we're doing it together. But we're going to open up our circle of the 5 organizations and start to communicate with other organizations about joining the effort and joining the cause. Because we know that there's other organizations who want to be a part of this, and we're open to that. But this year is going to be exciting. It's going to be exciting to continue this legacy, and I can't wait.
And at the end of the 165 miles, there's a party in Key West, baby.
And FayWhat going, hey, I just got out of the car.
Like, well, look at me, looking sweaty.
It's going to be great.
I can't wait. And I love the name of it. We'll end with that. I love Joyride. I love that because it brings so much joy.
Well, you know what? The commonality of all of our organizations is that we're focused on joy, bringing joy to people. And so,
there's a great Abigail song, Let the Joy Rise.
Yeah.
That could be your theme song.
I love it. Yes. Now we got to remix it. Okay.
That's
Just
right.
call Kid Madani. He'll make it happen for you. Right. All right. Sam, what's next, puppy?
Next up, let's queer up courts. The UK court orders Laurence Fox to pay RuPaul's Drag Race UK star Crystal $220,000 penalty. So right-wing commentator Laurence Fox has been instructed to pay about $220,000 after losing a libel lawsuit against RuPaul's Drag Race UK star Crystal in January of 2024. Now the court ordered Fox to pay $110,000 each to both Colin Seymour, which is Crystal's out-of-drag name, and Simon Blake, UK charity Stonewall trustee. The judge condemned Fox's false accusations of pedophilia, stating it caused harmful real-world consequences for them. In October 2020, Fox made serious accusations against Crystal/Seymour and Blake, labeling them pedophiles in a series of tweets now removed. Crystal and Blake both took legal action, filing a defamation lawsuit in April 2021. After a lengthy legal battle, the court ruled against Fox. In January 2024, this victory holds significance amid increased conservative targeting of the LGBTQ+ community, especially trans individuals and drag performers. According to Crystal, the UK court's decision served as a crucial recognition of justice. And honestly, this is so true. It's so good to see people having to, take ownership of what they said instead of just throwing stuff out on social media for attention and clicks and just fame when they don't care how it affects people. Social media is the real world, and so many people forget that. Like, I have a lot of people that just come on to be trolls on my social media, and it's just like, if I wasn't in such a healthy spot now, this would affect me a lot worse than it does. It still affects me. Like, it still tears me down. And it's like, I'm there for positivity. My social media tries to be all positivity, all about mental health, all about suicide prevention. I've lost a lot of people to suicide prevention. And then there's these people out there that just make this black hole. Yeah. And there's so much power. Why do people, they're just real life villains. They choose to use all of this power for such negative things. And I really love that Crystal and that they just decided to take their power and go, you know what, I'm going to battle back against this. And I love seeing that they won, and I've loved following it on social media because Crystal's really kind of made it very edible. I don't know why I want to say edible.
She's made it yummy. She's made it yummy to watch, and I give big kudos to Crystal for following through, like you're saying, court fees, lawyers, all that shit takes money, and that's where they lose most of us when we want to go fight in court, right? Because we don't have those kind of funds to keep that up, and she saw it through,
And the energy alone.
The energy and the mindset of it and the toll it takes on your mindset and your whole psyche and everything. The energy.
The mental stamina that you need to even see that through. And again, this is defamation. Okay, you're calling somebody the lowest thing on earth. You call our people pedophiles. Okay, you can't get much lower for our community. You can't call us that. Okay, that is complete defamation. That could ruin her as a person, as a job choice of anything. And those are, to you, they're just words. To other people, it's not. People will now forever think that Crystal might be a pedophile because those words were spewed out of Fox's mouth. They were said. You can't take them back.
You can't take them back. And it's as a parent, right? You hear somebody's a pedophile, you're like, oh my God, I don't want my kid around him immediately, right? And you take it at face value. And shame on, Fox for allowing such remarks to be broadcasted on their station. I mean, it's just terrible. It's so vitriolic, and it's just embedded in hate, I am glad that the courts are making lots of people, pay back. Yay.
Certain people.
Yes.
That's a pleasure.
Pay these fees, even fees that you can't afford.
No, exactly. Pay up, all right? Pay up. Maybe that's in euros. I don't care. Pay up.
Show us what you're really worth.
Put your money where your mouth is, right? Like, if you can talk so much shit, pay it out.
Pay it out.
Right.
There you go. Next, let's queer up sports. Visit Lauderdale partners with Paris Paralympic hopeful Abbas Karimi, a new accessibility partner. In an exciting development for Greater Fort Lauderdale, Visit Lauderdale, the destination marketing organization, has partnered with Paralympic hopeful Abbas Karimi. Born without arms in war-torn Afghanistan, Karimi's resilience and talent have led him to pursue swimming and aim for the Paris Paralympics in August. Karimi's journey is remarkable, from learning to swim in the rivers of Kabul to relocating to Greater Fort Lauderdale. His determination knows no bounds. Initially destined for the Tokyo Paralympics, Karimi's plans were disrupted by the pandemic. However, a twist of fate brought him to Greater Fort Lauderdale, where he joined the Swim Fort Lauderdale Masters swim team. Upon discovering Karimi's story, Visit Lauderdale, known for promoting accessible tourism, was eager to connect with him. As an accessibility ambassador, Visit Lauderdale will accompany Karimi to his favorite spots in Greater Fort Lauderdale, showcasing their accessibility. His remarkable journey will be shared through social media campaigns, special appearances, and publicity efforts, shedding light on his training regimen and daily life beyond the pool. Stacey Ritter, president and queen CEO of Visit Lauderdale, has also expressed admiration for Karimi's talent and determination. As Karimi continues his journey towards the Paris Paralympics, Visit Lauderdale stands by him, supporting his endeavors and sharing his story with the world. For more on Abbas Karimi and his swimming career, visit abbaskarimi.com. Visit Lauderdale, everyone under the sun.
Next, we are proud of our special partnership with Sunshine Cathedral, the world's largest queer church here in Fort Lauderdale. Supporting that partnership, we are broadcasting from our permanent set here at Sunshine Cathedral at the Happening Out television studios. We broadcast Sunshine Cathedral's Sunday International Service at 10:30 a.m.
We finished tonight's Queer News headlines with a segment we call LGBTQ+ 1 Minute News.
LGBTQ+ 1 Minute News, let's queer up business. 53 bomb threats against Planet Fitness after libs of TikTok attacks. Chaya Raichik has to stop. Bomb threats plague Planet Fitness branches nationwide amid an anti-transgender boycott led by influencer Chaya Raichik's libs of TikTok. Media Matters reveals that 53 locations in 20 states received threats. Raichik initiated the campaign after Patricia Silva's membership allegedly got revoked for objecting to a transgender woman in the locker room. Well, this is a very interesting story. I mean, it all started because Patricia Silva took photos of someone in the locker room, and that's against the law, the regulations of Planet Fitness. So taking photos of someone while they're changing clothes is really kind of, really inappropriate and not allowed.
She should have gotten her membership revoked, period. You violated the rules. Get your membership revoked. Now stop the hate. This is ridiculous. Get a life. Get a life, libs of TikTok.
53 bomb scares. 53 times that cops had to come out and deal with this bomb threat and use their resources when it could have been helping others in need. Disgraceful.
And it's also promoting terrorism around the country. It's not fair for Planet Fitness. It is a health and wellness organization, and it hurts to see Planet Fitness go under like this.
Absolutely. It's 100% terrorism because they're promoting terror through their words and their actions. And honestly, what harm does that person living their life and doing what they normally do in a locker room have? What effect does that have on another person's life? Nothing. Let people live, let people go about their day, and just be happy. This has no effect on anyone.
LGBTQ+, 1 Minute News, let's queer up trans rights. Pridelines honors Andrea Doria del Passos with a vigil and GoFundMe. This week, we mourn Andrea del Passos, a trans-identifying individual whose life was tragically taken on the street outside of Miami City Ballet. Pridelines held a vigil in her honor, and a GoFundMe page is now set up to assist with funeral costs and support her loved ones, per her family's request. The goal is to raise $10,000.
A somber candlelight vigil held in honor of a slain Miami Beach woman.
We had no idea that she connected with you guys. It gave me so much peace that She had a community.
Says the mother of Andrea dos Passos.
It's just you don't expect something like this. It's like things that you see in the movies, right? You don't expect this to happen to you.
On Tuesday, her 37-year-old daughter was violently murdered as she slept outside of Miami City Ballet. Police arrested this man, Gregory Gilbert, in connection to the attack.
Gilbert, you were arrested for one count of second-degree murder.
Accused of beating Dos Passos with a metal pipe, a building employee ultimately finding her with wood shoved in her nose and puncture wounds to her chest.
I don't understand why someone would do that. She never hurt anybody in her life.
You know, this story was supposed to be a 1-minute news, and we were just going to comment each one sentence or two on it. But, you know, Andrea's life was not something to talk about in 1 or 2 sentences. And her tragic death is not something to talk about in 1 or 2 sentences. So since I'm sitting in this chair and I do whatever the F I want, I want to talk about this story all around the table. You know, Andrea Doria dos Passos was a beautiful 37-year-old trans woman who lost her life too soon. You know, I get chills because it's effed up. It really is. You know, the life expectancy of a black or brown trans woman is 35 years old, you know, and sometimes even younger. And she had surpassed that by 2 years, you know, and now she becomes another statistic. You know, it goes without saying that, you know, she used to go to Pridelines. And so I know that as having Edward at the table is so important for today's story. First of all, I'm sorry for your loss. Pridelines as a whole, losing one of their own is not an easy thing. I know that you had spent time with her at Miami Beach Pride. I know that she was a huge, she was always at Pridelines all the time. And this has to be really difficult for you and everybody over there and everybody who knew Andrea.
Yeah, it was very challenging for my the team. And you know, we found out, I was on the phone with my colleague Chris, who comes on the show from time to time, and all I can hear is Edward, no, and Chris balls out in tears. And then, you know, as I'm speaking to everyone on the team, people are just in tears, you know. And we knew Andrea as Maggie, actually. You know, she was Maggie to us. She came in as Maggie, and Maggie was just a ray of light, and who just wanted to be free, wanted to be liberated from all the chains and shackles that we have often tied to us in society. And she just wanted to live a free life. And she came to us. She didn't really want to live in any of the shelters or any of the different housing amenities because of all the restrictions. She loved the beach, and she just wanted to be on the beach. She would go to the beach daily, and then come to Pridelines afterwards and spend a couple of hours with us. She would spend, you know, about an hour or so in the bathroom. And when I told her mom and dad that, they said, "That's her. That's our daughter." They immediately said, "That's our daughter." And I told them that I would have to go find special shampoo for her out of our toiletry and conditioner. And they're like, "Yep, she wants to smell fresh, right? Like strawberries." And she always wanted, it's like she kept really good care of herself. She was a beautiful soul. She had some challenges that we were working with her on. But overall, she was a great person who just really just wanted to be free and live her life and live her authentic self. And she loved coming to Pridelines because she could do that. She could shower, you know, in our sink in Miami Beach, and really take her time. Nobody kicked her out. Nobody said, "Hey, what are you doing in there?" We just let her be. She could rest if she needed to rest. She could talk to her therapist if she needed to talk to a therapist. She talked to several of my staff members who did some case management with her to find other resources for her. She found clothes there. We have a closet where if you're housing insecure or homeless or just anyone, quite frankly, you can go and get a nice outfit. And her mom and dad said one day she just showed up to the mom's job in a nice outfit. And they was like, we were wondering where she got the clothes from. We're like, Pridelines. And I hope to pick it up too. Very gay.
Well, very gay.
She was gayed up.
Very.
But we have a lot of special moments with her. And, you know, from our perspective, you know, we did everything we could. But the system failed here. The system failed in that we don't have any housing in Miami-Dade for LGBTQ folks.
And less on Miami Beach, even less. There's none.
We don't have anything. And, you know, and I tell my team this all the time, we can't beat ourselves up with this, right? We did everything that we could to support her while she was here visiting us. But one of our big goals is to figure out this housing challenge, even if we have to start it small and eventually grow it out, but to really figure out how do we support the LGBTQ plus community. One of the things that I promised McKinsey, the McKinsey project, is that as Pridelines continues this resurgence of where we're going and really doing a lot of fundraising and building our resources, I'm committed to helping them, figure out their housing, particularly for trans individuals. And about 2 months ago, Jasmine McKinsey and I talked about this, and what she said was, "No, Edward, let's work together. Like, don't just help us. Let's do it for everyone in the community." And I'm still, to this day, very committed to figuring out how do we figure out housing for our community in Miami-Dade, and all of South Florida, quite frankly. And kudos to SunServe and Tony Lima and the Our Fund Foundation, the Flight Institute, and Sunshine Cathedral for piloting a Pride House here for young people ages, I think, 18 to 24. I think that's a great start to housing insecure and homeless individuals. We have current clients from Pridelines who's actually there now.
Oh, I love that.
And yes, we're very collaborative, right? So we sent our clients to the Pride House, and they love it, and they're having a great time, and they're doing well. So we want to emulate that, but we won't have, in the Pridelines case, we won't have age restriction, because in this case,
Right.
Andrea, she was 37.
She would have aged out of that.
She would have aged out, and I'm working directly, not just my team. I'm working directly with 5 others who are not in that age category. So this is very. This is a very sad moment for our organization, and I'm holding back tears, quite frankly, because I was actually her therapist. So I actually worked directly with her. I've had sessions with her. I dealt with some of her co-occurring challenges that she's had, and so it's a sad moment for us. But it's and what I don't want to make this political at all. But what I really do want to focus on is that the system failed, and how do we work together collaboratively in our community to help others, right? And it's not about politics. This is just about helping people and helping members of our community find adequate housing and get the resources they need to be able to live.
Yeah.
She was sleeping.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And they haven't yet determined whether they're going to view this as a hate crime yet, have they? There's no
determination. So we are in great connection and communication with the PD in Miami Beach. They are fantastic. They are fabulous. They literally have called me. They've been calling me every day, giving me updates. There's no evidence at this point that this was a hate crime. And so none whatsoever. I will say that the assailant I've seen on Miami Beach, he's hung around the Burger King.
I remember seeing him too.
He hung around the Burger King right across from our office. So I've seen him around. And without having a formal diagnosis, I would suspect, obviously, given his record, that he has his own mental health issues and challenges as well. So we just don't know.
Pridelines had a very moving and beautiful vigil. I saw, it was all over the news. I saw your beautiful face everywhere. And, touching, moving, beautiful. What got me was her mom, right? You had shared with me before the show about how happy she was that she had people, that she had a safe place like Pridelines, that she had people supporting her, because, navigating through transitioning is not an easy thing. Okay. I can't speak from experience. I know my trans sisters have told me how difficult it is. And a lot of them lose touch with their family members because of just what they're going through. It's not an easy time. And sometimes you want to be with people that are like you and understand what you're going through. And you don't want to start teaching your parents about how to take care of an LGBTQ plus person. So unfortunately, the last couple of months, she was not always in communication with her mom as much as her mom wanted her to be. So her mom probably stayed up at night, worried about her daughter, wondering, who does she have? Does she have anybody to go to? Because that's what parents worry about, right? Yep. And you were able to make her feel better about that.
Yeah, her mom said she couldn't sleep, she just could not sleep. Her big concern was that her daughter was alone and her daughter died without community. And, when we spoke on the phone and her mother said, "Oh my, are you serious? She was at Pridelines every day." I was like, yeah. She was Maggie to us, because again, Andrea had just changed her name back last year. So she was still trying to discover herself, figure out who she was and whether she's Andrea, she's Maggie, or she's both, right? But her mother found so much comfort and said, I could sleep at night knowing that she had all of you at Pridelines who cared about her who looked after her, who gave her a meal, who gave her advice, who allowed her to be her authentic self.
Who gave her a shirt, who gave her a dress, who gave her some soap. I mean, you know.
Who danced with her at Pride, right? Like, we were just like dancing together, like, and just enjoying our time together.
You allowed her mom to rest. So understand that, even though you folks are going through such a loss, because there's no way to just even describe losing somebody like that, right? So just violently awful, you know, but just know that you were her safe space, you know, your new center, you called it the safe center.
That's right. That's right.
You know, for that reason.
Yeah.
So folks at home, they have a GoFundMe. Please make sure that you go and give whatever you can give to help her, to help her family. You can go find the GoFundMe on Pridelines.
Yes.
You can find it at pridelines.org. Next, LGBTQ+, 1 minute news. Let's queer up South Florida and Florida. Art explosion of men's underwear and swimwear fashion show wearing Skiviez in Wilton Manors on May 4th. Hotspots happening out Art Gallery with Dennis Stine, and Arts United will bring Art Explosion on May 4th with a free men's underwear and swimwear fashion show after party featuring an open bar and hot men wearing Skiviez. JB Benz, Jose Gonzalez, and DJ Joey Brown are all going to be in the house with their Skiviez on. Further details are at hotspotsmagazine.com. Listen, we're going to start a line right there. There's going to be a line outside that door, all right? Like, men in our community, gay men in our community, right? They look so good in their Skiviez, all right? And it's all about body positivity. So whatever you look like, bring it in hot Skiviez. We're there for it.
Yes. I second that.
I third it. Let's do it.
Explode on that, yeah.
We will.
I'm excited to see the JB Menz as the MC as well.
I bet you are. And he wears very little. Like, his Skiviez are not, they're like skivs. They're not even Skiviez. He'll wear like, you'll see him at gay days, right? And he's got a beautiful body, right? So of course, they're like, I'm always telling Edward, wear less, right? So at JB, you see him at gay days, he's literally wearing dental floss and looking amazing doing it. So I look forward to seeing what JB's gonna wear for this one for sure. Nico, what's next?
LGBTQ+ 1 minute news. Let's queer up entertainment. Jonathan Bailey officially joins Heartstopper, and Netflix thinks you are going to love it. Known for his roles in Bridgerton and Fellow Travelers, heartthrob Jonathan Bailey joins Netflix Heartstopper universe. Creator Alice Osman announces Bailey's cameo as Jack Maddox, an Instagram-famous classicist and a crush of Charlie in the upcoming series adaptation of the popular LGBTQ+ graphic novel. So I hope that Jonathan Bailey's character doesn't break up Charlie and Nick's relationship.
That's what you're worried about.
Them. Yeah. I love them.
I mean, we all do, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is such a heartwarming show and so cute. And I look forward to seeing, because I love him. I mean, I'm a huge Bridgerton fan.
Hello.
So, and a big Netflix girly. I wonder why. So, yeah, Bridgerton's probably the second best show on Netflix for me.
What's the first?
Squid Game, bitches! All day!
Well, yeah, okay. And Jonathan Bailey, oh my goodness, yeah. And then Fellow Travelers, just weep for, I didn't want that to ever end. But he really put the throb in Heartthrob.
I love that.
We went there.
I can't top that comment.
So to speak.
Call me Jonathan. Call me baby.
Heartstopper, Jonathan Bailey, you're cutie. I'm still not watching you. Okay, I just got through Fellow Travelers, okay? And you were hot in that. I don't know if I could take Heartstopper, but I'll let you know when it gets up in the queue of my list.
It's much lighter.
Is it?
Fare. Oh, much lighter fare.
Yeah, it's much.
What's next, Sam?
LGBTQ+ 1 minute news. Let's queer up drag culture. I'm excited for this one. Google search pays tribute to RuPaul Drag Race winner Nymphia Wind with balloons and animation. So Nymphia Wind clinched the 16th season victory of RuPaul's Drag Race during the lip sync finale. Her iconic boba tea inspired outfit with balloons underneath wowed viewers. Google search celebrated her win by featuring a banana alongside her name when you search it, and clicking on that banana triggers a balloon animation, mirroring Nymphia's mesmerizing lip sync reveal. Well done, Nymphia, and thanks, Google. I love Nymphia. I met her in person at the premiere. I met a lot of the queens, and it's just so infectious. Like, she knew how far she got when she met me, but when we met, she was still it was just so energizing to meet someone. It wasn't like I know I'm very special, because like, the minute you get on Drag Race, you are a superstar.
Yeah.
So knowing that she got as far as she did and having the humility and joy behind it still, instead of feeling like it was a pedestal that she could stand on, it was just a joy that she was looking forward to sharing with everyone. And seeing her win, it was just so uplifting. I mean, I was excited to see whoever win because I loved all of them, but Nymphia had a little part in my heart after Morphine, our Miami girl.
Morphine.
I love Morphine. Morphine is amazing.
Yeah.
She's
that
one
face,
of my...
that ass, everything.
Oh, she's...
Yeah, but Morphine did take that Lollapalooza win.
Oh my God, I was
She did have hers.
She had hers, and mine, and yours, and everybody.
She already had hers.
That Nymphia was really, I really felt Nymphia from the very beginning. There was just the fashion, like,
amazing.
Yeah.
The fashion. Like,
and the fact that she made
the couture. But I also just, the way she played it was just so simple and just like this gentle rise until that final lip sync. We'd like, what? She just let you build. Oh, you thought, oh, no,
Yeah.
Bam. So I just loved her.
Yeah. It was fabulous.
It was fabulous. Why is it that, like, just having Google do this makes me feel seen? It just does. You know what I mean? Like, it makes me feel seen. Like, during Pride Month, right? If you put Pride in Google, the rainbow stuff will pop out, right?
Or hashtagging it on anything on Meta makes it rainbow gradient.
And, for whatever reason, it's like a social media hug. Social media is usually giving you the finger.
Right.
So I loved it.
And not in the right place.
Visibility and representation really definitely matters. And seeing that.
Thank you, Google.
Yeah, seeing that weight put behind that is huge.
What do you think?
I also think, she definitely had me gagged when she did her lip sync. So I suddenly have a love for bananas, and I want a banana.
Right?
I mean, to still do that at this day and age with where we are in RuPaul, like...
Yeah.
And to stick to the yellow, and not throughout,
and
but I'm saying for a lot.
You were never bored of it. I was never bored with Nymphia, ever.
Well, and one thing, I know we're talking extra, but she dealt with her anxiety. She would constantly be like, everyone knew that she was super talented, that she made her own stuff, that she can do choreo, that she can do all of that, right? But her nerves would get the better of her to the point where the rest of the girls after a while were like, bitch, you're beating all of us, all right? Can you stop and look at what's going on? But it shows you can have all the talent in the world, and if your brain is not right, unfortunately, you can't go further. And she used the help of the rest of the girls there to push her.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, and I'm also glad, in general, this is my opinion, that it was a really good season of Ru, because they've been kind of, some, but I think it was a great season.
It was a fabulous season. They did great on casting.
Yeah.
For sure. I love Morphine still.
Oh,
all right.
Yeah, we love Morphine.
We love you,
BBL.
Morphine. We love you. Okay, and right? And you just better be giving all the love to Athena Dion, your mama.
Hello.
I miss you, Morphine.
All right. Finally tonight, we want to mark a special passing. A tribute to late conjoined twins, Lori and George Chappelle. Lives well lived. So yesterday, CBS Sunday Morning, Jane Pauley paid tribute to Lori and George Chappelle, the world's longest surviving conjoined twins, who passed away at 62 in Philadelphia earlier this month. Both were assigned female at birth, and George came out as a transgender man in 2007. The Chappelle conjoined twins represent resilience and diversity, and we recognize their lives well lived.
It happened earlier this month. The deaths of two very different people sharing, quite literally, a common bond. Lori and George Chappelle, long-surviving conjoined twins whose skulls were partly fused, died in Philadelphia. No cause of death was given, though doctors say it was inevitable that, given the twins shared a circulatory system, when one of them died, the other's death was certain to follow.
My theory is, why fix what is not broken?
The Chappelles were the subjects of a 1997 documentary.
People who are conjoined can have a very private life.
As adults, Lori worked at a hospital, while George, who was transgender, performed country music with the stage name Reba. The Chappelles, thought to be among the world's oldest conjoined twins, were 62 years old.
That is today's news for the LGBTQ plus community on the world's first and only daily LGBTQ plus evening news show.
If our community is important to you, share this news with your friends and family. Are you, like most of America, part of a very large television audience watching this live LGBTQ plus news broadcast right now on Roku, Apple TV, Android TV, and Amazon Fire TV?
Queer News Tonight is the only live LGBTQ plus digital television show in the world that is out of the closet and into the headlines. We need your support. If our community is to grow, we must tell our stories and bring them to the attention of the broader world.
This is the only place in the world that tells these types of LGBTQ plus stories in motion and sound. That is the passion of Hotspots Magazine, Happening Out Television Network, and Queer News Tonight.
I'm your anchor, FayWhat, and on behalf of these LGBTQ plus reporters, the incredible anchors of Queer News Tonight, including Dr. Edward Summers, Dale Stine, Nico Cales, and Sam Lantz. We will see you daily at 8 p.m. And to our LGBTQ plus world, we wish you good night.
Good night.